writing a paper is, as I told you, it's a technical kind of a thing. So Emerald is one of the technical aspects of writing a paper. Okay, it's just a way that makes it easier for you to think and structure your thought in a way that a paper would like. The best way, in my opinion, to write a paper the way I did it is monkey see, monkey do. So instead of going to monkey see, monkey do, you have an easier system, which is a structured system that is majority of the publications or the journals are respecting it, which is EMRAD. EMRAD is acronyms, start with introduction, M for methods, results, discussions. Exactly. So start with the first thing in your article is the title. So how can I make the title more attractive, to write a title that would stop apartment people who are searching in the apartment cruiser, I would call them, to stop and at least read your abstract. And from your abstract, like Dr. Ayat will talk today, it will lead them to the whole paper sometimes. So this is why title matters. These two researchers said that there is some sort of technicality. Of course, biostatisticians or statisticians usually like to measure things. So they provide some sort of measurements of why people stop and read the title and why the title attracts people in some sort of metric way. So they found that about 99% the title was declarative. Declarative title have lesser uncommon words, were significant more represented in altimetric top 100. Declarative title had 2.8 times odds in the top list. Another very important thing is using some sort of out of ordinary words. I'll give you a real life example. One of the paper I wrote, and me and colleague, we were trying to understand, or we did some sort of qualitative research, and the research was about the experience of survivors of MERS-CoV. You know, National Guard Health Affairs had this kind of epidemic call last, I think 2016, 15-16, and they closed the hospital to that extent in front of everybody, and it became like a closed canvas for treating the epidemiological kind of disaster that happened in the hospital. And most actually of the healthcare givers got infected by MERS-CoV. That's why we had to stop our practice and reflect on what's happened. We found the opportunity. What is the survivals of those kind of bad disease would share about their knowledge of surviving this kind of disease, being a healthcare giver. One of the people whom we have interviewed, she said that one of the word that she used, she said that I felt like the dirtiest person in the planet. Okay, that's her exact word. And this is basically because the stigma that comes with it. When she goes to the bus, even her friends don't want to sit beside her. So she started to be alienated. She started to be kind of stigmatized by being survivor. I might get infected if I get too acquainted to her. She even described that she saw her friend going down because she was looking down the window, and she asked her friend by mobile phone, "Where are you now? Are you coming as our usual day, chilling out, chilling together, movie night?" And her friend, who was in front of her eyes, down the apartment, she told her, "Well, I'm far away now, I can't come." So that's give her, يعني عزز enforce the feeling that she is a dirty person. Everybody don't want to be part of it. So when we were trying to come up with a title, and we know the statistics, we know that having an odd title would increase our chance for our paper to be looked at, and we choose that as the title of our paper. We put between brackets, I feel I am the dirtiest person in world, colon, and then we describe the descriptive what we did, the experience of whatever the title was. And just because this word, the CEO, His Excellency Dr. Bender now was in an auditorium and we were presenting our work, we win a prize just because we attracted them. The science, I have to be frank with you, like to get started with the frankness today. The science is not that rocket science. It's not like something out of the ordinary to win a prize. But because of the title was very attractive, we saw the smile and we saw the interactivity of the people who attended that. And now the paper is in the PubMed for 2 to 3 years now. And it is one of our best kind of cited paper because of the title. So this is why, to sum what this slide say, why do you need to have a very strong title? You need it to be descriptive, and you need it to be some sort of out of the ordinary of it. Think out of the box anyway. To start with conceptualizing the title, the first step, it has to be declarative. This is a few examples of how the title should look like. If you want to be declarative, this is the example. For example, mixed strains of probiotic improve antibiotic associated diarrhea. Very descriptive, straightforward. Okay, the odds of this getting picked up by PubMed is very high. Yet you can make it stronger by throwing some sort of describe the subject into the title. The effect of mixed strains of probiotics and antibiotic associated diarrhea, and you can make it more. Use a question for the subject example. Do mixed strains of probiotic improve antibiotic association diarrhea? So different style of writing, everyone has its own impact and everyone has its own beauty. And if you can read here, so this is one of the research title formula. Start with the result. I feel like I am the dirtiest person in the planet. Okay. Colon, this is the colon. Then a method study, a qualitative research, a topic among samples, to assess the experience of people of survival of endoscopy. Exactly what we have done. So just use this and try to be creative with it. Okay, tips for an attractive title is to be concise. You have to think that people are extremely busy and they are giving you the grace of 10 seconds to scan your title quickly. So you have, this title has to be like the lead. If anybody is practicing fishing, okay, this is the exact fishing experience. What I mean is, this is like you send your bait in the sea and wait for somebody to bite on it, okay? So this is your bait. It has to be concise. If it's too big, people will be annoyed to read. I didn't give you this 10 seconds to waste it with a huge kind of wordy, not very well considered title. You have to be very precise of what you want me to know about this paper, so I can decide easily if I want to read the abstract or not. Remember that the job of the title is to make me read the abstract. The job of the abstract is to make me want to read the paper. Okay? So this is the basic formula. Write your title in a way that would make you, if you are the other end of the giving, want to download or at least to read the abstract of this paper. So be concise of what you want to tell people, and be concise with distance, and be grateful to it, respect people's time, give them a concise kind of what you want them to know about your work. Convey the main topic, highlight the importance, be concise, be descriptive, use a low word count, 5 to 15 words. Avoid wordy titles, like a blink, avoid them. As I told you, you have only a window of 15 seconds. If I am generous with time, I will scan it quickly, maybe in 3-4 seconds, and I'll go to the next. Remember, when I make a search, tens of pages will come in the PubMed or whatever kind of database you're looking at. So you have to make your title stand out, to be concise and short. Don't try to avoid more than 15 words. I usually tell my students not more than 10 words. And I challenge them to that, okay? So this means that you have to be very creative, saying all what you want to say in 10 or 15 words. Check journal guidelines and avoid jargon and symbol. Always, always check the paper guidelines, because some papers would restrict the numbers of words in title. Some papers would give you the leeway of putting whatever you would like to. So be careful on the guidelines, because it is an easy rejection. The easiest rejection when I review paper is to say that this paper, although it has good science, but it didn't comply what you have told me is your guideline. If I'm a reviewer, they will send me the guideline of the journal if I don't know it already. And then I look into the paper. Of course, I will give it like 2 to 3 hours of work to look into the science of it and see if it's worth the publishing in that journal. Not as a reviewer, this is the job of the reviewer. But if the person did not comply with the regulated guideline of this kind of paper, they will save me 3 hours right away, 3 hours of work right away. So avoid jargon and symbol. Like, I'll give you an example. Today in the morning, I've seen a vermin that has a very nice, furry coat that's trying to get its breakfast, and it's usually hunts rats, but it was nice that it's not hunting mice, it's also fun. I can easily say that I see a cat eating a breakfast, okay, or eating some sort of tuna or whatever. So I'm happy that the cat is fine. But I use a very difficult, it's not difficult, it's unusual word to describe. I can just easily in my practice say that. I've seen a cat. Instead of, remember that your audience, not all of them Native American, Native English speakers, and they might not know what vermin is, and they might have to go to a dictionary to understand what vermin is, and I don't have this time in 10 seconds or 5 seconds. I just skip. There is too many crowded, nice articles than the one that I have to go to find what this jargon means, what this sentence means. So, a new antibiotic kills pathogen without detectable resistance. This is an example done by Dr. Riyad to tell you why this title was becoming #1 in review. You can see the title is not like rocket science, it's straightforward, but it's descriptive, it is concise, and it has a spin of a result in it. Okay? So it says what the researcher wants to say in about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 words. He didn't even read it to 10 words. So that's like this going to be picked up. And this is actually what showed up in the statistics. So this is just an example of a brilliant kind of work that is useless than 10 words. Just an example. Problematic title. Let's look at this one. Does vaccinating children and adolescents with inactive? This is the answer. The title is very wordy. Influenza vaccination of children, a randomized trial. What do you think of this title?
Fantastic.
No.
Who would say fantastic? Show me hands. Who would say problematic? Okay, why it's problematic?
So it doesn't show the area.
You are around it. Although it is fantastic in terms of using the words, but fail in terms of giving me what's the story here. Okay, so it's too short, not in terms of words, in terms of story. Remember, when you are writing a paper, you are telling a story. sometimes the most boring story, if you are telling it to someone with enthusiasm and the right kind of way, they will get attracted and listen. Even if, for example, Alaaddin. Have you seen the latest movie?
Yeah.
Who doesn't know the story of Alaaddin? Everybody knows the story of Alaaddin. But the way it's been narrated, the way it's been carried by the industry, the movie industry, is totally different. So the same boring story being delivered in a very shiny kind of way attracts everyone. Just an example of sometimes the legacy is in the way you are actually delivering what you want to deliver. The title doesn't give enough information about what makes the manuscript interesting. Let's take another example. The effect of influenza vaccination on infection rates in rural communities, a randomized trial. What do you think? This is effective title. It is short, easy to understand, and convey the important aspects of the research. Okay. If you can notice, there is a spin of a methodology. It's short and randomized trial. So randomized, we know it's the golden rigor. So it is about influenza, and some of the results, it is So it has almost all what I want to know about this abstract. So next step is to read the abstract.